What's up, everyone? It's Roger here from DisKingdom.com with Infinity and Beyond with a packed show for you guys this week, talking about all of this week's Disney and video game news. So we are joined, as per usual, by James there. Hello, James.
Good morning.
And we're joined by our other co-host, Abe. How you doing there over there in sunny California?
What's up, guys? How's it going? It's good. It's not sunny, but it's good.
And then over there in Canada, Dale from the DCast. How you doing, Dale?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. We've not done a four-man show before, so this one's going to be kind of good. I'm expecting this one to be a lot of fun. We've got lots and lots of video game stuff to be talking about. Quick thing, we're going to be talking about LEGO Dimensions. We're going to be talking about all this news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con and also Star Wars Battlefront and a few other little mobile stuff that's been coming along. So before we jump into anything news, just thought, Dale, if you want to just kind of maybe introduce yourself and what you do and stuff.
Yeah, sure. My name's Dale Whiteland. I'm part of Network 1901. We're a group of podcasters and YouTubers and bloggers that provide content weekly about Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar. On Mondays on YouTube and on podcast, you get the DCast, which is with Dale and Andy, and we do movie rundowns, talk about the parks, Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, all of that stuff. We talk all aspects, and YouTube, and we really are about inclusion. And then on the podcast on Wednesdays, you got Modern Mouse Radio, and right now on Fridays we have a rotating show. And on YouTube, you'll also get a different topic show on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, cool. Lots of stuff going on there. Definitely worth checking out 1901. Because it's kind of quite interesting as well, sort of seeing people sort of joining together. I mean, sort of. I know James as well. You do like the Res Network as well with a few different guys. Right.
Yeah. Also does something else as well. Okay.
Right. So we're going to jump into some of today's news. So I'm going to I think we'll just jump straight into the big news that literally I just posted on the website like 2 minutes ago. Was the news of Avatar was possibly coming to Disney Infinity. Now, this wasn't on any of your show notes because this literally just happened. But we've just saw some concept art. We don't know yet. It would have been cancelled or whatever has been going on. But also we saw some Lightning McQueen cancelled art. So I'm going to throw this one over. First off, I'm going to throw this over to you, Dale. Characters.
Sorry, I couldn't get the last thing that you were asking me.
That's okay. It's so I was just going to ask. So over at the Disney Infinity, the Avatar was just released literally just before. What did you think of the news of Avatar kind of being sort of cancelled like that, and also these Avatar figures? Yeah,
not so I'm excited about that. I am excited for Avatar to go to the parks. I think it'll bring much due attention to Animal Kingdom. The safaris there are world class. They make you feel like you've transported to Africa, and they take such great care of the animals. So we're lucky to have some sort of way to experience animals, and if Avatar brings more people there, I'm so excited for it. The whole Disney Infinity thing really bothers me because I feel like as a consumer I wasn't appreciated, and I feel like we all spent a lot of money on Disney Infinity, and canceling it with not even word of how long it'll really be supported for, and just to stop production of all toys, it was really a slap in the face. And that being said, I'm really excited for the idea for it to go to something like LEGO Dimensions, but I really felt like as a consumer and as a supporter that they didn't really appreciate how much money we had to invest into Disney Infinity. And I think things like that, not to just continue, to maybe announce an end date as opposed to just canceling everything they had in the production line, just I guess was the cherry on top, I guess, for my frustration in that. And I love Disney, but I felt like that was a real knee-jerk reaction.
Mm. Okay, so on that subject of Avatar, how do you feel about Avatar as a whole? There, before we move on to James.
I think that it would have been nice to take some time to write a script for the film. But other than that, I enjoy the film. I like Dances with Wolves, so of course I like Avatar. It's just I'm really excited for Avatar 2, 3, 4 because I think that now that the technology's in hand and it won't cost as much money, hopefully there's a story to tell there, and that's why James Cameron wants to do it, because he's a great storyteller. We know he can be, and so I'm trying to be positive about it, even though I feel like the James Cameron name made the movie bigger than it probably deserved.
Okay, cool. Okay, so James, what do you think of the Avatar as a whole? What would that have been like for Disney Infinity?
I think, as a concept for Disney Infinity, it would have been a lot of fun. There's that very fantastic environment. There's the creatures and all that stuff. Plus, you've got, the combination of humans in mech armor, which we didn't see any figures for, as far as I know, but that might have been down the line. Plus, we've got the Na'vi. I do have to admit, though, I'm biased against Avatar because it's the movie that told me or proved to me that the modern 3D techniques give me a migraine. So I'm a little bit. It's not Avatar's fault. It's just the movie that I found out, so I kind of didn't have a good experience watching it.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I don't like 3D movies as well. I don't like having to wear 2 pairs of glasses. It just doesn't really work for me.
Totally agree. When I can avoid 3D, I totally avoid 3D when I can.
It's not actually. Go ahead, Ron.
So, Abe, what did you think of Avatar being released?
Are we talking about in general or Disney Infinity?
Just Disney Infinity.
I think it kind of made sense. I mean, to be honest with you, first off, Disney making that deal with James Cameron was obviously a reflex because a certain wizard in Florida taking over into the parks. But I guess they kind of didn't really leverage on the whole Marvel thing now that that's being huge or anything. But anyways, so it makes sense because they did make a deal with Cameron, so it was going to go into the parks. I'm assuming there was also some type of deal with toys and merchandising, so it makes sense for it to join up in Disney Infinity. I have a feeling it's probably something that Disney wanted to eventually acquire afterwards, kind of like pull the Lucasfilm. The Lucasfilm thing where do your movies, be done with it, and then we'll continue it later on in the future, that type of thing. But the figures looked awesome. It definitely looks like early concept for episode probably 2, 3, 4, and 5, whenever those were going to come out. I'm calling them episodes because I feel like
because you've already put them in prequel status.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's totally going to be a whole repeat type of thing. But the figures look cool. I think before we started the podcast, James, Roger, and myself were talking about how because the planet kind of glows when they step on it, the bases must have been gnarly, like with paint or translucent, like the inside out figures, like James was saying earlier. So it would have been cool to see him in Infinity. So
I must admit, for me, it was one of those really weird things of just finally thinking, this looks really cool. I wasn't surprised in the slightest. I think that was a really weird thing. It's like I saw those pictures, I went, yeah. It's like they're working together at Disney World. As every time I post a story about or do something about Avatar, I get people going, no. It's like, well, there's a deal. There is some work going on. This could very easily be the next buyout. But it just feels like this wasn't a big surprise to me. It really was not something I was surprised about. I'd buy them in a second. I like Avatar. I don't have a problem with Avatar. But yeah, no, I thought they looked pretty cool. Anyone got anything else?
I was thinking about it. Is that you kind of Abraham? Is that right?
Yeah, Abraham does matter.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good, no worries.
You made a really great point with. It kind of made me think of what opportunity they missed with Wakanda, having Wakanda.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They could have had in Animal Kingdom in the same spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately, not to go on a tangent here, but the only reason why we're having Avatar in Animal Kingdom is originally we were supposed to have obviously the live animals, the futurist, the past, which is dinosaurs, and then we were supposed to have the fantasy style. If you ever look at the logo of Animal Kingdom, you see like a dragon in there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of the Imagineers were not too happy, and they moved it over to, again, the Wizards company, which I happen to work for. But anyways, and that's why you saw a lot of like rides that were themed to like a dragon and all these in Islands of Adventure. So obviously Avatar was sort of their fill in that gap type of thing, and it makes sense. But like you said, Wakanda would have been amazing. I think that it would have been cool to tie in to not only the Animal Kingdom but also Marvel. So
yes,
yeah,
but of course we know that Marvel, bringing Marvel to the park is always a big hit for people,
Yeah, definitely.
especially this weekend. I mean, and if they just change a tower over it, it will change everything.
I think that's great news, actually, only because it means that they're focusing on the parks and not expansion. So they're analyzing how their current parks are running, and I think Tomorrowland needs some attention immediately. And the fact that they're looking at that means that they understand that the Hollywood backlot isn't quite working as a theme, and it's too of a mishmash where you should have Josh from Modern Mouse Radio. He always has this great idea where he thinks that the Mad Hatter Tea Party should be like a Stark Industries event. Where you go and Iron Man shows up and stuff, and it's
awesome.
exactly, yeah. Only if we were Imagineers.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, guys, give us infinite amount of money and we'll do it.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. But right, okay, so we're gonna flip over now to probably the main video game release really for all of us to play last week was Star Wars Battlefront Skirmish mode being added to the game. So I'm gonna flip this one over to Abe first. So, hey, did you get a chance to play the Skirmish mode this week?
No. So,
No.
see you later. No, I've been playing the Bespin expansion, but I have not been around. Clearly, you guys haven't seen me on the podcast lately because I've been busy. So no Skirmish mode. Take it away, James.
Yeah. There you go, James.
Save it, James. Save it.
I did actually boot it up. It's the first time I've played Battlefront in, I don't know, a couple of months now. And it was fun. I like that they included the fighter mode with the TIE fighters, the A-Wings, X-Wings, etc. That kind of got a little bit old pretty quickly. But then the Walker mode, which I had never played in multiplayer, was a lot of fun, but more than a little bit imbalanced, as I gather the mode is in general anyway. Yeah. Trying to convince the bots to attack the Walker properly it is not. I don't know if it's easier with randoms or not, but the bots are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I would like to see some more gameplay modes though for the skirmish mode. I don't know why we have Walker mode but not standard deathmatch or team deathmatch or whatever they call it in Battlefront. It would seem like that would be easier to program, but I'm not a programmer, so.
Yeah. What do you know?
Exactly. I don't know squat.
So Dale, do you play Star Wars Battlefront, and have you managed to play the skirmish mode?
Yeah, I do play Star Wars Battlefront, and I didn't get to the skirmish mode because I feel I don't understand why there was it was time sensitive to release Battlefront when it clearly obviously money. I guess that's why. But I just feel like I just don't feel like there was a whole game there. I got there's not enough maps at all. Not at all. Like for a purely multiplayer game, I don't get it. I'm not playing a MOBA game. Like I'm playing a first-person shooter. I need more than 4 maps, please. And
yes.
And so that really lost me. It even lost my kids. My kids were like, could I play a different map? Can I go somewhere else? But they try. I don't know. It's so beautiful though. Mm-hmm. It's still a well-made game. It just half of one.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I think having had this, when you got the season pass chucked in on it as well. It's a really expensive game, but it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of I'm going to be honest. See, I played skirmish mode one night this week. And I've got to say, the offline part of it is great. We know I have some internet issues sometimes with being in a tiny little coastal town in the little side of Devon, and so therefore an offline mode is great because sometimes I will boot up Battlefront and it will just be like no, just like great, I want some offline play. The other thing as well is for someone like me that maybe is not so good at it, I felt like I could take on the entire Republic. because when I was playing it, did a Walker Assault game. Not only was I able to fly a bomber, I was able to walk around in the AT-ST, I got around in the AT-AT, I got to play as Darth Vader, I had like 100 and something kills, and I'd been killed twice.
Wow.
It was so much fun because I was not being killed every time I put my head up.
Yes.
It was just like, and it's like doing the fighter squadron. I felt like, I was the Millennium Falcon. I was the the slave one, and I felt like I was playing it, and I wasn't dying the minute because someone else is so much better than me kicking me out. I actually felt, and I know Arjan, a friend of mine as well. He said the exact same thing. Having 100+ kills and only being killed a couple of times, and it felt like you were, maybe that's the thing of like being an offline play that really did work for me personally, and I loved it. I was able to be Darth Vader for like 10 minutes or so. Like in the real game, I'd have been gone in seconds.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It's going to enable people to actually learn how to play all the different positions too. Like aside from being like a stormtrooper or in a rebellion fighter, you also can control these machines, or you can actually learn how to be the hero, or so it is helping people because there's so many times where I'll play the game and you can see whoever is in a TIE fighter is so clueless up there, just crashing into things easily, or it's
Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, next time I play, I'm like, oh, there's Roger again.
There's a wall.
Wait, that's cool. But it's cool.
I'm kind of in that zone of I'm thinking sort of like Star Wars Battlefront. It does keep. I think if they did the review of all the stuff that's in there now, to when they first initially released it, there's a lot more content in there.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like I'm hoping Battlefront 2 next year will add a lot more content to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm appreciative of everyone who bought a season's pass. Thank you to everyone who gave them more money, so I got more content.
Right, okay, we're going to flip over now. Disney Mix. I don't know if this kind of counts as a game or something. Disney are releasing some kind of app, which is kind of a messenger, emoji, games. It's coming soon. Not too much is known about it yet. I don't know if any of you guys have heard anything about it, or maybe tried it out, or want to try it out. It looks a little bit maybe more for the teen market. Abe?
From what I know, it's basically like a newer Zoom like game, but you get to unlock emojis that you can use later. Like there's been so many conversations I've had with people. You said Blitz, right?
No, that's Disney.
Oh.
Disney.
Sorry, I blame your internet. So next.
We can't afford the internet over here anymore. We'd have been kicked out.
Then yeah, I don't know. Next.
That's fine. Also, Prince Charming is coming to Disney Magic Kingdoms in hardly a big surprise. So I'm going to throw this one over to James first. You still been playing Magic Kingdoms, and what do you think of Prince Charles coming? Prince Charles, hello, I'm coming in.
I don't think anyone's ever confused Prince Charles for Prince Charming.
I don't know.
I'm not British enough to talk about that. Yeah, I'm still playing Magic Kingdoms. I'm actually at the point now where I'm unlocking Eve and Roz from Monsters University, and the requirements are crazy. It's going to take like weeks to get them. But Prince Charming, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I actually like the picture that they released for him. We don't know if he's going to be like a special event or a story character yet, but yeah, I mean, this is what the game needs to do. We need more characters, not really need more characters, but if the game's going to continue to live on, then adding more characters is what they have to do. I hope it's a story mission rather than a special event, especially since The Incredibles just finished.
Yeah. So, Abe, did you get a chance to play it at all in your off time, and what do you think of Prince Charles? Not Prince Charming? You get that one.
Yeah, I don't know who this Prince Charles guy is. Anyways, honestly, I play Magic Kingdoms a lot. While a lot of people are frustrated with the Pokemon Go not working, I'm playing Magic Kingdoms. So I actually like that he's going to be in it. It's also hinting the possibility of, obviously, Cinderella. Did you guys see the full reveal of his character?
I saw it on
silhouette?
Instagram.
Okay, good. Yeah. I was going to say, because, Instagram has the full reveal. So it's cool. I'm very intrigued as to how they're going to bring him in. However, I hope he does not get overshadowed by the awesome event that The Incredibles was. Because if he's just an additional character, then whatever, it's not a big deal to me. But if there's a nice story to it, then I'm going to be excited. I'm currently unlocking, and see, now I'm going to mess up the name. Is it Prince Pip or something, or Kit or whatever? I don't know. Sleeping Beauty.
All right. He
The
doesn't have a
guy,
name. He's just a
the
prince,
guy with
isn't he?
the no, he has a name, but anyways, we're
Just
all gonna
random
have to do our
guy.
research now. Yeah, Google. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm unlocking him right now, and obviously the prerequisite is just a lot of magic. So I'm assuming Prince Charming is gonna be the same. He's gonna have a lot of items that you're gonna need to unlock him. But anyways, I welcome it. I'm still enjoying Magic Kingdoms, and I can't wait for the next event. So.
Okay, so Dode, do you play Disney Magic Kingdoms? Kind of, sort of, have you had a go at this game?
Yeah, the thing on one of our episodes, I came out pretty hard against Magic Kingdoms, and I'm usually like I try to be like I feel like I'm on a bit of a negative theme here, but no, I hate predatory games, so I wish. Like what it made me feel like was where's my Disney roller coaster tycoon game? Just like
I agree with
I'll
you.
give you how can I give you all my monies, and then you give me Disney roller coaster tycoon.
Well, just to piggyback off of what you said though is when they first announced it at D23, that's kind of the feel we got. We thought we were getting our own like roller coaster tycoon Disney park thing, and we ended up getting a Simpsons tap out Disney version.
Exactly. So instead you got like a game loft predatory. Give us your gold coins and buy all the guns.
Oh, and for all the Disney fans, his name is Prince Philip, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Well, that's Prince Charles' dad, so it's fine.
Good
The thing
save.
is, I must admit, I was in that same mode as well with Dale. I hated the game when it came out because it wasn't what I wanted. It was only when I went back into it a few months later, when I kind of went into it fresh again, that's when I started enjoying it because I wasn't comparing it to what it was, what I thought
expectations.
It was. Yeah. It was. I'm really enjoying it now because I know what it is. But I must admit, when that first game came out, I installed it, played it, went, "This is rubbish," and deleted it. It wasn't until the Incredibles event which brought me back in.
I think the only other game that's given me the same feeling was Fable. I remember like the announcements way back in the day about Fable, and it was like when you get in a fight and you lose, you're gonna cut your face, and like that's gonna be like a scar that will grow over time with you, and you're like, oh, that's kind of a cool element. Instead, it was like, pick your scar you want on your face.
Pick your avatar.
Yeah, you were 9, now you're 30. Go on an adventure. Well, that's not the game you said.
Right. Okay, we're gonna flip over now. All right, so we're going to now go over to San Diego Comic-Con. Okay, so there was lots of video game news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. I'm just going to throw some quick bits and pieces at you since there's not... Gwenpool is coming to Future Fight. There's some new characters coming to Disney Puzzle Quest. Also, Loki and Gambit are coming to Contest of Heroes. And Marvel Zoom Zoom is coming soon globally, even though it's been out in Japan for ages and it's quite a lot of fun. Those were the main sort of mobile games. So I'm going to kick this one over to Abe first off. Any of them kind of grabbed your attention that you might use?
Probably the Marvel Zoom Zooms, because I did enjoy the Zoom Zoom game. I hope it doesn't require the line account thing, because if I have an app, I just want to have one, to play it. I don't want to be required to have another app in order to play it. So, so yeah, as long as it's its own individual game, I'll be great. Everything else, honestly, I haven't. I'd be lying. I haven't tried all of them, but I'm not interested in. So I'll leave it up to you, Robert, since you play absolutely every single game. So.
It's almost like I do a video game podcast where I've got to be like at least know what everything is. So James, any of those there jump out at you?
Well, I am a huge fan of Gwenpool. She's a recent addition to the Marvel Universe, alternate reality. Gwen Stacy, kind of from a reality like ours, pops into the Marvel Universe, and since she's a huge comic nerd, she knows all the secrets of the Marvel Universe. I don't know how that's going to translate into Future Fight, but I'm all for getting her into more games. But you want to talk about predatory games? Future Fight is definitely up there.
Okay,
so hopefully.
Oh, yeah, carry on, James.
I was just thinking that they've recently released 2 characters for that game, and the only way to get those characters is by paying money for them. Carnage is one of them, and I can't remember the other one offhand. I'm just hoping that Gwenpool isn't going to be the third. You have to pay money to buy this character in this game.
Yeah. Dale, do you play any of these games, or any of these kind of jump at you?
I used to play all of them, and then I was like, "What am I doing?" Like they're gonna stop making me want to spend money I don't want to spend. I'm really excited about Gwenpool. Gwenpool is such a cool character. I think that it's good that we have female characters taking really strong roles in comic books, but I think it's starting to be good now to have female characters take on any role, and even ones that are outlandish, and because you've only really Harley Quinn is in that type of realm is all you can compare to, and I think Spider-Gwen's kind of almost Marvel's Harley Quinn now, and I think that's like a really cool thing, and I'm really excited for that. But also the Tsum Tsum game, Tsum Tsums are like, why is making something look like a sausage like the cutest thing? It's like, why is it so cute? I love it. I love how
It's funny. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. I was at the park with my kids, and there was this girl, and she was wearing a Bambi Tsum Tsum shirt, and I was like, and it just all it was a navy blue shirt, and it had just like 100 Bambi Tsum Tsums. I was like, that's the cutest shirt in the world. Where did you get it? I want to buy it. And she's like, you can't have this shirt. It's for girls. And I was like, oh, come on, you got to be more open-minded, little kid.
What I was going to say, the reason why Tsum Tsums work, and you know what, Roger, you're probably going to demonstrate it for me since you have one accessible. In the video games, and obviously if you look at them, all right, perfect, hold it just like that, Roger. They look great and they look cute when they're facing you. Yeah. But when you turn them sideways, what is that thing? All of them are like that. And like you said, honestly, a sausage was probably the best description you could have used, because it looks like they stuffed this character in a little casing. Yeah, but the front view is perfect. Everything else, I don't understand.
It's almost just like it exists to be able to be upright.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that. I think the Marvel Tsum Tsum game it's a lot of fun. I mean, I downloaded it. This is the kind of thing, set up a Japanese iTunes account and downloaded it and played it. It's fun. It's great. It's going to be a nice boost for the game. It kind of again feels like the kind of thing of like Marvel going, well, you've got Star Wars and Disney in their own game, but we're not coming into yours. We have to have our own. We don't want to mix. We don't want to cross streams or anything.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. I think it's going to be a bit of fun. I'm going to switch over again for the console side of things from San Diego. So Marvel have announced Woman of Power is going to be coming to Zen Pinball, which I'm really excited about, because I love when they bring the tables to that game, because I think that's so much fun. Kind of nice. I don't know if you guys have ever played it. So, but also Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 are out tomorrow or Tuesday. A surprise remaster. I mean, we knew about them kind of through leaks and stuff, but now it was officially just confirmed they're dropping digitally. $60 for the two, $39 for them individually, and they've got online play. So I'm going to go down the line. So Abe, Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, have you played it, and are you going to pick them up this week?
Yeah and no. I'm ready for new. Honestly, what I wanted from Comic-Con is give me more of this Spider-Man game that's coming. That's what I wanted. So I don't look. I love the classics. I love the remasters. But you know what? I need the new content. Yes, good, great games.
I love that Spider-Man costume. I love the white.
Yes. So So no, I'm not gonna pick it up. But anyways, that's just.
Did you play the original when they came out the first time around?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and they were fun.
Yeah,
but again, it's like old news to me. Like, we're talking about predatory games. Like, hey, let's keep re-releasing stuff all over again. That's
No, it's true.
Okay, so James, your thoughts on Ultimate Alliance and Pinball?
I love Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 back in the day. They're fantastic. I got into them really hard. They were actually what got me a 360 in the first place. That said, asking $60 or $40 for games that are 10 years old, even if they're remastered, is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I'll wait for a sale. I'll pick them up when they're on sale for a reasonable price. But unless this is a top-to-bottom overhaul, which we know it's not, of the games
they
with new
went into the code and were like 1920 by 1080 resolution.
Yeah, exactly. So unless it's like a massive shift forward, I'm not paying $60 for a 10-year-old game. There's no point in that. That said, I do like remasters. I do like visiting old games, especially games that I'm very fond of. But we've got to be reasonable about it. As for pinball, I will pick those up again when those are on sale. Whatever store has them at the best sale, either Steam store or Xbox or whatever. I normally end up playing each of the tables like 5 times, and then I realize I am terrible at pinball, and then I won't play it again until the next tables are released.
Okay. So Dale, what about for you as well? These 2 games.
Yeah, I played them. The thing with Marvel Ultimate Alliance is I played a lot of Champions of Norrath and Diablo back in the day, and it's like, right? It's like when people were like, back in the day too, they'd be like, oh, you gotta play Halo, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing Battlefield 1942, and it's way better. Like, and so you're not like, I'm not trying to hate on Halo. It's just I've got a computer.
It's okay. Go ahead.
And no, that's what Marvel Ultimate Alliance was like. I played it, I'm like, oh, so cool. But I did find like I like to go back and like Final Fantasy VII when it comes back out. Yes, sign me up. I'm gonna kick my family out of the house and I'm gonna play it because I really need narrative and story to drive me through video games, and that's why like probably my favorite game series of all time is Uncharted, just because there's just this narrative that's constantly drawing you forward. And as soon as I just found that games could do that for you, I was like, yeah, please. I don't want to grind anymore. I don't want to like break a bunch of stuff in every Lego game. Like, I want just a narrative to drive me forward and enjoy the ride.
Can I just add one thing before Roger says something about playing older games? Like, I get really attached to the games that I buy, so I usually never get rid of them. Like a lot of my old games, I still have them. And if I want to play an older game, I don't want to get it remastered. I'd rather revisit it on the same console that I have that works. That's just me. I mean, not everybody has their older consoles still, but I just feel like I get the nostalgia from the original console I played with. Remasters are cool. It makes it easier and accessible, but I'm just not like that. I'm not a fan.
I'm going to come into this from an entirely different angle because I never played either of them. All right, so therefore I am actually coming into this where I have got 2 new Marvel games coming out on Tuesday that I have never played. That everyone says are great. I'm like, so for me, I'm sitting there going like, where do I put my credit card details? Because for me, I've not played them. I've got 2 brand new Marvel games coming out this week to play. I'm happy. No, I'm good. I've got remastered versions. Great, because I missed them the first when I played. I think Abe did the same. Uncharted collection that came out last year. Neither of us had played them, and so we both enjoyed that because we hadn't played them through them before. So on one hand, if you've played it before, I can understand how you guys don't want to. If they released a game that I played 5 years ago that I wasn't worried about, I wouldn't be too much too fussed over it. Yeah. But it does have an audience like this Ultimate Alliance is exactly like me, where this is who they're after. They're after a new generation or people that maybe missed it. Maybe sell them on the idea of Ultimate Alliance 3 coming at some point down the line. So for me, I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be picking them up because I've never played them, so they were brand new games. If they've been upgraded, and I remember playing the Deadpool remastered earlier this year, and I loved playing through that game because I didn't see it, I didn't have it the first time around. So I'm in the exact opposite camp to you guys, where I'm picking up, playing it, but I missed it the first time around. Yeah. So for me, I am coming into it a completely different angle, and I am looking forward to it. I was really surprised this week. I thought it was going to be in the winter, but maybe releasing it in the summer where there's not a lot out makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're right, totally. Too, like, we're being jaded jerks. It's a lot of fun, and it also remember that it's a lot like Baldur's Gate as well, which is another super nerd game. If anyone's ever played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and those have enhanced editions, but yeah, like you're gonna enjoy it, and it's better than any phone Marvel game you've ever played. Like it has, and it will have all the elements. All the elements will seem familiar to you, except for it's awesome, and you don't have to like wait 3 hours until you can keep going because you don't have enough energy.
I actually wanted to.
So no, it's kind of cool. Yeah, carry on, James.
Sorry, I just wanted to add on
James.
what Abe was saying earlier about go back to the original console and play it. I actually almost picked up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 recently before we heard rumors about them coming out, and I agree with you, Abe, that if we're just getting the same game, then we might as well just go back and play them on the 360, unless you hadn't played it like Roger.
Right.
If they're doing remasters, and this is kind of what I was saying before, if they're going to do a remaster, it needs to be worth our time to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
So, like the Final Fantasy VII remake you were talking about, it looks like that's going to be a top-to-bottom overhaul, new graphics, new CG, new everything, even though I played 7, and I don't have like a huge attachment to 7. 6 was my game, Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll go and play 7.
It's one or the other. It's one of, you always get the one person who's like, what about 8, guys? It's like,
no.
Because 9 was better.
8 went from 7
was better than 8. Go away.
I'm sorry, I'm going to get murdered for that.
No, but you know what though, and you're right. And my only issue too is that usually when they release these remasters, then they also say, oh, we have some added DLC packs where you can add, Gwenpool now to the old game. Like, oh, great, way to go, guys! This is exactly what you guys remastered it for. If they do something like that, I'm not going to be too happy. But again, I'm not going to rebuy it. So
this is the thing with the game, though. Is that had they just done in some way, these are 360 games. They could have just done backwards compatibility, but of course that doesn't going to sell so well as because I literally was in the store 2-3 weeks ago looking, and I had them in my hand, and they were about £15-16 even for the second-hand copies. So it's not. I'm actually looking at the price and go, there's actually for me there's not a lot of difference between picking up the second-hand copy and buying the digital version because the price of the original games is actually quite high. It's not like a PlayStation game that I can pick up for £1. This is these are still quite expensive on the secondary market.
I still can't pick up a game for £1 out here.
Yeah,
it's just I just didn't.
And in a couple months, it'll probably be £1,000 to buy your video game.
Yeah, that's true. Hashtag Brexit.
Hashtag womp womp.
I was walking through the supermarket the other day, and I came around the corner of the Toys to Life category, and I was like, okay, let's just have a look see if there's any Lego on sale, and all the Disney Infinity are like half price. And over in the corner, they literally had a stack of Supercharger starter packs.
Oh yeah.
PlayStation 3 ones. PlayStation 3 for £3.20, which is probably about $5, and PlayStation 4 versions for I think I paid £4 for it. So it's
which was. Conversion was $6.54.
Yeah,
just
and I'm just there like going. I picked it up, and my wife goes, well, "You can't have that. You've had Skylanders. You've sold them. You're not allowed that." It's like, and I'm there going, "It's £4. It's £4. I can play through the whole mission. I'm not buying anything else for this. If I can't get for it, it's like I just want." I said, "That's £4. It's just like it just felt like the whole Skylanders range had just gone, and it's like they'd moved everything. They've replaced them with ink cartridges."
So you can print your Imaginators, so you can imagine your own now. So
yeah, it definitely looks like in the shops that the Toys to Life category is just kind of gone. Yeah. And I don't know what it's like out in the stores out there. What's really going on out there now with the stuff?
It depends on the store that you go to out here, at least.
But Skylander totally got just as dead, right? Like. They'd be smart to sell it for how much ever they could to Lego Dimensions.
It's like my local Best Buy has almost completely empty Infinity, almost completely empty Skylanders, and Lego is completely full. And then you have a bunch of Amiibos, like all Animal Crossing, because that's all they have.
I know. No one wants Animal Crossing. Go away.
and then I'll go to them like Target or whatnot, and their shelves are all stocked with everything. It's kind of weird. So I don't know.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's now flick over. I think that was kind of... Oh, there was also some Kingdom Hearts free merchandise out available to purchase. Mm-hmm. There's a new figure coming out in January. I think it is kind of interesting that we're getting the merchandise before the game. Also, 2.8 was again out on demo at the event, but there was not really too much news on the Kingdom Hearts stuff yet. Which I think
it was the same demo as E3.
Yeah, it's going to bring us on to kind of our feature topic for today, really, and that was. There's been a couple of different interviews, a couple of different discussions about Lego Dimensions, and even the people there, they keep getting asked about it, and they literally have said, Warner Brothers are working with Disney. They are already Disney partners. We're working with them on projects and stuff, and we want it to happen. And the PR people, and they're grinning from ear to ear. They are definitely sending out the signal that they want Disney, all their brands in the game, doing it very, very openly, and saying how. There's advantages to having more space for them. They're coming out with, they've been using San Diego Comic-Con to promote the next wave coming in November with Sonic and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. They really kind of hit
Adventure Time. Oh my gosh.
So
dude, Adventure Time. I'm freaking out about the Gremlins.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
It's Mr. T for me.
Yeah, it's 18. Yeah.
Hey, beautiful.
Yeah.
I ain't getting on no plane. So I'm going to go down the line and just kind of talk. Basically, I just want to know, you guys, what do you guys think of maybe Disney working with Lego Dimensions too? So I'm going to start off. Go down the line with Abe first off.
Oh, me. All right, cool. All right. First off, out of all the properties, most likely we'll see Star Wars. Most likely, for sure. They don't have a real space side in Lego Dimensions anyways. They already have DC. I highly doubt we'll get Marvel in there, especially because Undercover, for those who don't really know, is that Marvel is a diva, and even Infinity had issues with trying to get certain Marvel content in. So I highly doubt they'll get Marvel in Dimensions. Disney and Pixar, I'm up in the air. I'm not sure because they just released the Disney minifigs recently. The Cinderella Castle, which looks amazing. I wish I had tons of money because that's amazing.
I don't have tons of money, and I have to still get it.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely, we're gonna see Star Wars, and then the reason why I'm most definite with Star Wars is they have recently they had the little droid miniseries. Now they have Freemaker. They could easily use Rogue One because we didn't get any Rogue One content before, anyways, in Lego Dimensions. And ultimately, Lego literally farts money. It just comes out of them easily because A, their product's expensive, people buy it anyways, and B, it's a quality product. It's been around for a while and people like it. Their video games are great. And C, they're so willing to spend for these properties. They've been wanting to take them even when Infinity was still around. So, is it going to happen? Not Series 2, maybe 3. I think you'd be pushing it, but yeah, it's definitely possible to see Star Wars. Again, I don't know Marvel. Maybe Disney and Pixar. I don't know what you guys think, but definitely excited to see it because Series 2 has gotten me really excited for Lego Dimensions. So, yeah.
Okay, so James, I'm going to let you jump in on this one.
Well, I agree with Abe on this one. Obviously, Marvel, we're not going to see it. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to let DC play with Marvel as much as we would love to have Batman and Wolverine in the same one, or even going full nerd and getting the Amalgam universe from back in the 90s when you had
Dark Claw. Was it Dark Claw? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Hyena, Sabretooth, and Joker. All that stuff. It's never going to happen. It would be awesome, but it won't. I agree. Star Wars is going to be the key series. You and we talked about this in a previous episode where, as Abe mentioned, you got the Freemakers, you've got Rebels, you've got Rogue One, Episode 8, all sorts of fun stuff. And both Lego and Star Wars just print money. Just by themselves, they just print money, and
they have their own machine.
Yeah, it's like you stick the original Wii with the Lego Dimensions, and it's just money flying everywhere. The real question is the Disney characters, and I'm wondering. I think that we would get a similar situation with Marvel, while they don't have say the DreamWorks characters who Disney might not want to interact with or whatever. They're probably properties that they don't want to say Mickey, you're going to go and have fun with the Gremlins over here. It's Probably not. But on the other hand, you've got guys like E.T. and stuff. But those are over at the that other park in the one that Abe knows a little bit about, right?
We don't know.
Yeah, and to add to it, let's not forget that they just acquired DreamWorks. Universal did. So, and if you guys haven't noticed that Lego Dimensions now and the next series coming, they clearly have a partnership with Universal because most of their properties that they have in the game are Universal owned. But anyways, go ahead, Dale.
Okay, so there we go.
Yeah, no, you're right about the Universal, like Jurassic World's a great example, right? That was in their initial launch. So I agree with you about Star Wars because it's untouched. It would be so cool to have your Darth Vader running around with your doctor, because that's the most sci-fi that you get. Maybe Back to the Future as well. And that would work so well together. I think if they are going to go Disney, that they're going to go theme park based, and so you go if you can make the whole park, be it probably Disneyland, if you can have all of Magic Kingdom, and then stick with the Fab Five and park known characters, more of the park characters, because those characters still quite aren't in the forefront for anything. There's no movies coming out. There's nothing, and you want to keep them in the forefront to some extent, and that would be a good medium to do that. And you'd be willing to sacrifice the fact that you don't really want them intermingling with some of the other characters, like Scooby-Doo or something. But you want to keep the parks and those Fab Five characters in the forefront.
The only thing I can think of though is Frozen. I probably would see Frozen in Lego Dimensions. I mean, you also got to think about don't they have a Lego series coming out as well?
They literally just released a trailer this week. Frozen Northern Lights.
There you go. So that makes more sense because it prints money.
And well, the thing is that Frozen's is becoming one of the biggest park things there is, right? In Norway for Disney World, they have a ride there. They just kicked out Aladdin at the Hyperion in Disneyland to put in the Frozen musical, and they already had 3 other Frozen musicals going, and they really didn't need to do that. So they're really making Frozen and the park synonymous, and if they do that, I think you get Frozen, obviously Fab Five.
See, for me, I'm maybe slightly looking at a different direction in terms of Disney will now be looking at this and going, right, can this fill the void for upcoming projects? Can this now, if we're not releasing a new video game for example, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, can we chuck in a Jack Sparrow fun pack and make some money off of it? If
yes.
They're going to pay some money,
answer.
They're going to
Absolutely.
If there's going to be Cars coming out, could they do that? But are they more likely going to make a Cars separate entity? They're more likely. Now that we're into licensing, I just think they are going to try and grab as much cash from as many people are willing to pay some money to them as possible. If they've got a Cars free game coming out, if they can chuck a Cars free character into Lego Dimensions to make some more money, there's no reason why not. They're already spreading their content across all their mobile games. I think it's going to become another marketing machine to promote the new content. Certain characters, I agree. I think Marvel are way off the idea of being able to do it, but I could see Captain Jack Sparrow being thrown in there. I could see an Incredibles pack coming. As much as it's
Frank from Tomorrowland.
It's just you could see them kind of doing. I think they will go down the movie, especially with the way that Lego Dimensions has positioned itself this year with Lego Batman movie, Fantastic Beasts, and Ghostbusters with these story packs. They could do that with some of the things, because are they always going to want to release a solo Lego game like they've done in the past? I think it depends what Lego want to do and what they're willing to pay. If Lego want to go full in on Dimensions, there's been a lot of jumping around. They've put lots of team members into Lego Dimensions, so there's now a couple of different groups working on the same game within it. Rather than maybe doing a Lego Batman game next year, now he's a story pack. They're going down that same line of these are play sets, and I can't help but think Disney are going to look at this and go, right, what projects have we got coming up that we can intertwine, even just a couple of releases a year. They don't need to go full in. They don't need to do the full back catalog, because also Lego Dimensions are going to spread out. This year even feels like with them that they are trying to do lots of different brands, but they aren't cannibalizing each thing. You look at Mr. T, Gremlins. A lot of them are little fun packs. They're not going full in on making dozens and dozens and dozens of figures. They're doing one thing and going. And I think the exact opposite of just thinking they can tie this into some of their new movies, mainly Disney and Pixar. You know, they can tie stuff in a little bit better if they've got a way to work forward, and they'll carry on, and then they'll license out the characters to another game to do separate console versions of other bits and pieces. I just feel if Warner Brothers are willing to throw the money and pay the fee, Disney will just say carry on. And certain things I don't see. I actually think Mickey Mouse is less likely than like Captain Jack Sparrow. I don't know. It's just I think it's more if or more when than if.
I'm in a slight disagreement to what you're saying, and the only reason why I say that is the same reason why it was so hard to get mashups in Disney Infinity in the first place. Disney doesn't like their characters melding with other characters if they don't need to, especially in a story. That's what I'm going with. And aside from what you said, about maybe every movie, a little pack here and there. I can see it likely with characters who have had Lego games before, like Pirate Jack makes a lot of sense. Like Mickey Mouse too, like I don't think they'd want that because they don't want him to be like Sonic, where he's basically in everybody's game. I guarantee you, if Infinity was still around, we probably would have had Sonic in the game as well with Wreck-It Ralph 2. You know what I mean? Eventually, it would have happened. So
maybe you get a separate Lego Disneyland game then. Maybe they still want to go that route.
That's true. Honestly, I kind of see that. I think, if anything, they'll make their own Lego game separate from Dimensions, and it's going to be Disney-themed. But I wouldn't see any like minifigs or anything going with it. But,
James, you want to add anything?
Could you guys see like a branded Lego Dimension, so Disney's Lego Dimensions,
and that's the only other thing.
Even though they promise no separate portal, but still, and the other ones don't interact.
A while back, Roger and I were talking about how when we saw the demise happen, how it could possibly still be alive in other forms, not being selling the Disney Infinity license because like Roger would say, it's toxic. Nobody wants that anymore. But maybe Lego bought it and they created their own Toys of Life separate from Dimensions. That's really Marvel, Star Wars, all that stuff. That could work. But I don't know. They got something going right now, so I think the small little here and there.
And I like that James? I don't have to buy a new portal.
Agreed.
James?
They don't want to split their user base between people who have one game and people who have another game. I like the idea of like a Lego Disney set on its own. Obviously, I think we've all pretty much decided they're not going to interact with the regular Dimensions, but they don't want. Okay, you've got Captain Jack Sparrow and you've got Mickey Mouse and whatever, but you can't use them in the regular Dimensions game because one of their main selling points, as opposed to Skylanders and Infinity, was it just works. You buy one starter pack and everything works, even stuff that hasn't come out yet. That was the big problem with Infinity and Skylanders. So maybe not a Toys to Life game, but something along the lines of, say, Star Wars Force Awakens, the Lego game, we just got that, but something like Disney-fied. Or more appropriately, maybe like Lego City Undercover. Remember that Wii U game that came back when the Wii U first launched? It was like an open-world kid version of GTA or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it was Legos.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember
something like that. In the Magic Kingdom, you've got, Tomorrowland, and you've got, the pirate area and all that stuff. You could do something like that, but I don't think Toys to Life, not with the Disney properties, the Mickey and them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dale, anything else you want to add on that one?
It got me thinking about that Lego Worlds game, which I wonder if it was on sale, a Steam sale, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. Why is no one talking about this or playing this game? It's Minecraft.
You're talking about the new one?
Yeah, it's on early access.
Yeah.
At E3, I was not a fan of it. I completely thought, Minecraft has already done this. What are we doing?
I think as well. I mean, I think that could be something that they that's doing its own separate thing. To me, the big issue really comes down to how well have Lego Avengers and Lego Force Awakens sold this year. That is going to be the key thing that I think Disney are going to look at. Right? If Force Awakens has sold, I don't know, 5 million copies, say, but Fantastic Beasts Story Pack only sells a million copies, they're going to be like, no, we'll do a separate game because we'll make more money that way. I think the fun packs are possible. I think they could throw in 1 or 2 Disney characters a year, and it would keep everybody happy, and it would just keep some money going in. But I think we're going to see a Star Wars episode game year on year. I think we're going to see Rogue One next summer. We'll see Episode 8 the summer after that. We'll see Han Solo the summer after. I think Disney and Lego have got that deal, and I think Lego Force Awakens is going to probably sold a hell of a lot more than a story pack would have. And that's going to be the issue for Disney of going down the Star Wars. I don't think that, I think that's, and also I think we're going to see a Guardians of the Galaxy Lego game. I think we're going to see that coming soon.
Yeah,
I think that is the big issue. Is money.
That'd be a great playset, actually.
Oh, stop it.
If they do a Lego Guardians of the Galaxy game, they need to include the bellhop from Tower of Terror. Just
Yes.
And just shove them in a box somewhere and go, you ain't
no,
coming
the
out.
Twilight Zone's gone from Disneyland. Oh.
You know what they should do in Volume 2 in the movie? If they ever focus on the collector's collection, there should be a bellhop in there.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
or that little girl that gets zapped by the lightning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll work too. That'll work.
Do you know what? That's really
People
funny.
just falling in an elevator.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I think like with that Tower of Terror attraction, right? I know I've been on it a few times, but because I do this, because I'm about to lose my glasses, I don't know what the hell's going on in that attraction. I can't see anything, so I'm just seeing like blurs.
You
won't lose your glasses.
They sell little things you can put on them and keep them on your neck. You know.
I don't lose my glasses on that, right? You won't lose your glasses.
No.
Oh,
So I've always used
glasses.
to take my glasses, always used to take them off. So of course, because I remember just sitting there going, it's gonna drop, and I'm just like, I couldn't have taken any of the story because I'm just like, I hate this. I hate this ride. I hate why. It's like I remember going on. Let's go. Why am I doing this? I hate this ride.
Do you think that like you're gonna be falling and your glasses are gonna be above you and you're like, no, my glasses? Gravity's so different for them.
Yeah, I'm probably just petrified of the fact of just walking around Disney World blind.
You'll be fine.
It's like when you've gone on a roller coaster and you're literally like clinging onto them.
You know what?
Please don't drop them.
If we're ever at Disneyland together at the same time, we'll go on the ride, and I promise you will not lose your glasses. And then you'll be like,
Roger,
whoa, it's spooky.
You're gonna want to have to figure out how to do it anyways, because you like Marvel, and you're definitely gonna want to go on this Guardians ride. So
Yeah. See, I gotta be honest. It was like I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Because who's watched Twilight Zone in the last 40 years? It's like,
well, if you saw Ant-Man, with Thomas the Train Set in that little that was the Twilight Zone episode already, so you're set. You already saw it. So,
but no, it's kind
only
of cool.
older folk will get that reference because it was so similar to an episode. But anyways,
You're right.
I gotta be honest. I don't understand what I mean. Time an attraction gets touched at a Disney park, there's uproar. People only want them to build new Disney properties because they're not that. Marvel isn't like Winnie the Pooh and Mary Poppins are very Disney-owned brands.
Well, yeah, and Walt Disney, the man himself, said the park should never stop changing, and I've said it on the show before, and we've all agreed because this is sometimes it can get you some heat, but Walt Disney would be the first one driving the bulldozer on a lot of these rides that still exist that we're trying to keep because of his legacy. I saw something like someone wants to keep the house that he lived in for a small period of time when he was trying to get the studio started. It's like we already have the San Francisco Museum. We have the parks. The parks are giant monuments to the man. Like not everything is perfect, and he would be like, let's move on. Let's knock these bad rides down. So
yes, let's knock down that Ellen ride. They're a massive, very big Guardians attraction.
Yeah, like would we actually think that Walt Disney would sacrifice forward movement for nostalgia? No, not at all. That doesn't sound like the man at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like soaring over the world. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think soaring over California was bringing people to California at all. So
No.
let's just let's just showcase the entire world instead.
Yeah. I did that. It was called my flight to LAX.
There you go. Yeah, soaring over California, right there.
A lot of farmland.
Ironically,
No water.
it's just this kind of weird thing. If it's just like it's such a weird sort of reaction to it. I think anytime. And it was the same thing with Disney Infinity, really. It was that whole thing of, like, the minute Marvel and Star Wars get brought up, there's this, like, and there's this core Disney crowd that just can't stand anything these two brands at all, and they just don't like them at all. And it's kind of hard sometimes to. I think maybe us, we're all guys that I kind of grew up loving Marvel and Star Wars. So for us, we're just like, yeah, knock down that castle, put in a Death Star.
No, you went too
There
far.
are limits.
You went too far.
Yeah.
I want everyone to
Take a
know
step
I'm not a
back.
part of this conversation. No, you
It
went
was
way too
like, no, you can't say that.
far.
You know, I recently heard something too. I forget where I read it, but like people were blaming Marvel for the demise of Infinity and even Star Wars, and I'm like, let's just clarify one quick thing. It wasn't Marvel that caused it to go down. It was corporate's decision, their stupid decision to reproduce so many of one character that added to an inventory, let alone the game was doing great, and they just canceled it because it wasn't doing enough for them. So don't blame Marvel, don't blame Star Wars. It was just stupid corporate decisions. So
They can make $1 billion on movies now. They don't need $520 million from a video game.
exactly. Who needs money?
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking at what Amber's announced at Spice or at San Diego Comic-Con for Marvel, they're doing all right. They'll be all right for a while. They're
good.
Coming forward.
I know this is video games that we're talking about, but oh my god, Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, I'm so happy. Sorry.
Very
that's all
good. Very good choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
I was sitting there going, who? I don't know who she is.
You need to watch. You need to watch The Room. I told you. You need to watch The Room, and if you want to watch Trainwreck, you can. She's not major in that one, but Room, great film, great film. So, yeah, she's perfect.
Yeah, see, for me that was literally, I was just like, who's that? But then I've got to say, sometimes that works best because then you go in with no preconceived ideas of this person or this character. She is completely fresh, completely new actress to me. I don't know anything about her. Therefore, she just becomes Captain Marvel. So that kind of works. In
Sure.
a lot, especially I think it's like with a lot of like the Star Wars stuff of where they bring out these new actors. They don't come with the baggage. They don't come with when Rey comes in, she's Rey.
Yeah.
She's when Robert Downey Jr. walks in, he is still Robert Downey Jr. He's not he's not Tony Stark, etc. Though they are pretty close. But
They're basically the same person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roger,
what is going on?
I think Robert Downey Jr. has done a good job of making me see him as Tony Stark and not Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And you know what? Also, I'd say Johnny Depp. Jack Sparrow is still the one character that I believe over all of his other characters that he does, as he does so many characters. I see Jack Sparrow, but I see Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Let me going back to what you just started. Just let's put it this way, Roger. You're going to be happy with Brie Larson as opposed to Ronda Rousey as Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So.
Well, I never is that the UFC fighter?
Yeah. She's the MMA fighter. That wanted the role so badly.
Yes.
And then she got defeated and fell off the face of the map. But okay, go ahead.
See, I don't really. In that instance, it's like no, because you might be a strong female and you might be really powerful, but you're not an actress, and that's you're a fighter. That's a different role. You would have been badass, everyone would have known. Yeah, she could kick ass, but she's not an actress. And I think
what if she became the next Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh god.
Look,
You're not giving that opportunity now.
Look, first off, power to the women, power to females. No disrespect. This is not a sexist comment in any way, but we don't need to
say a sexist comment.
Yeah, I know. I'm alluding to it. We don't need to reboot anything that we've done and make it a separate gender. Like it looks like it's the new trend. I mean, we had Ghostbusters. Apparently, they're talking about doing Ocean's 11 reboot. You've seen a lot of Marvel characters now change genders as well. Again, no offense, but let's get some original characters, like brand new people, like what about the Netflix series? What's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Thank you. That's like original story, and she was female originally. Perfect. That's great. You know what I mean? It's original content. That's what I want.
I think the argument you could just make is, please stop rebooting stuff.
Thank you.
Because if you are going to reboot it, I guess, yeah, actually, please make it better for women to get engaged into it, because mission accomplished already with men. So if we're going to reboot it, we might as well draw a new audience and break down some barriers.
I love women. Just so I can...
No, but I'm saying, like, I think the greater problem is reboots in general.
Reboots. Agreed.
Yeah.
Reboots are bad.
James?
I like
saying,
Ghostbusters.
Abe, are you saying that you don't want to see Natalie Portman as Thor? Because Jane Foster is currently Thor.
Oh, no, please no.
Well, that's not a reboot. That would be it's canon.
Okay,
right?
okay. Here we go. Ready? You ready for this comment? No, I don't want to see her as Thor because Thor is she's too tiny for Thor.
But he has magical powers.
Yeah, but I'd rather see
It's all magic.
You know, let's show some love to our plus-size women or our bodybuilding women. Let's give her the Thor role, because I honestly see Thor as mighty. You know,
so you would recast Jane.
I'm going to be honest.
I would get brand new characters, brand new people.
Sure.
New people.
All right.
Let's recast.
My problem with Natalie Portman is I don't think she's
Queen Amidala.
boring. I just don't think she's got the actual, like, I don't know, she just doesn't seem to portray that.
My comment about rebooting movies as women was, I thought that was bad, but you saying Natalie Portman is boring, that is blasphemous, man.
Did you see Black Swan?
Dude,
yeah,
watch V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, Black Swan, she's phenomenal.
Yes. I don't know, it's just for the movies I've seen her in, she's so dull. It's just, I can't see her as Thor. It's just,
okay, let's change the subject before I get
it's just this, I think it's like this thing about like having, these characters, Marvel are really pushing forward this their women of power. We've got literally you've got Zum Zum sets, you've got they are appearing in every video game, you've got, they are pushing them, and it's that kind of thing of, I kind of feel like they're pushing them like, here's all these characters just are females, like Squirrel Girl and Spider-Gwen and Spider-Woman. It's like Spider-Woman was a cartoon that I watched when I was a kid. She-Hulk, these aren't new characters. It's just that Marvel are still kind of that thing. We want to push them, but we don't know how.
Dude, Captain Marvel is perfect.
Yeah,
that's a great direction. Then for them to add Wasp to the title of the next Ant-Man movie, perfect. We're heading in the right direction. And apparently there's rumors of the Black Widow movie finally for sure being greenlit eventually.
Joss Whedon hopefully being involved with that, because he'd be perfect for that to come back.
But even like
and they owe him.
the Wonder Woman trailer, I thought that looked really good. I thought that.
Of course.
I mean, they kind of think like, why
Wonder
wasn't
Woman's
that
a great character?
Why wasn't that released before Batman vs Superman? It would have made sense.
Well, they should have released the trailer to Justice League before they released Batman vs Superman, because that looks good.
They should have just made a sequel to Superman, and then had a Justice League movie. I don't know. Like everyone, for 20 years we're like, Batman vs Superman movie, please, Batman vs Superman movie, and then they're like, hey, everyone's like, oh, Man of Steel is pretty okay, like that, good job, guys. And then I was like, so instead of Man of Steel 2, we're gonna do Batman vs Superman. You're like, oh, we're not ready for that now. Like we were super ready for it, but you got more to establish. So okay,
it's like Marvel releasing Civil War before they released the Avengers. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's exactly what they just did. So.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Batman vs Superman has the same problems that Avengers 2 had, and it was a movie that instead of being the climax of something, was setting up a universe, and that was the problem with Avengers 2. But again, the thing I'll say about with Marvel is they have a long history of picking a character's superpower and being like, well, actually, it kind of does this if you think about it. And Scarlet Witch is a great example of House of M. Before, she just had kind of like this mind control power, and she wasn't used very well. And they're like, actually, with Scarlet Witch's power, couldn't she just think like everyone didn't exist? And Marvel's so great at doing that. Like, look at Luke Cage, like in the Heroes for Hire. It was like really not as developed as it is now, even like look at Guardians of the Galaxy. They take these heroes that have sea power. Iron Man if you 1992, if anyone was like Iron Man's my favorite superhero, I would not believe you. That's a lie.
Yeah. Right.
He was a C hero. He was not great. That they figured out. Oh, he's like Batman, but like an alcoholic, and it was and that's what like worked. You know, they're so good at re-imaging their superpowers and seeing how they can make them better and putting them in the forefront. And I think that we're seeing that with Captain Marvel, and you're getting new characters that are doing the same thing.
Yep.
It definitely, it's like you said, it's, you know, the San Diego Comic, it really, I mean, there was so much stuff coming out of it, all these trailers and stuff, and, you know, again, you sit there and going, you know, I was sitting there looking at going, you know, all this new content coming, you know they're going to be tying in lots of merchandise, lots of top video games, lots of app updates, everything is just, you know, we have got Marvel and Star Wars coming to us in droves over the next 5-10 years, you know, and, you know, push in the right direction, kind of in some ways hope that they can. I do wonder if this whole thing with X-Men and Fox and all the rest of it made them look into their back catalogue better and maybe upgrade that. And I think that's more exciting for people because, you know, when you see like the Black Panther and Captain Marvel, a lot of people go, I don't know who these are, these are exciting, rather than just doing, oh, we're doing a Batman reboot.
Yeah. That's right.
Squirrel Girl, baby. Squirrel Girl. I want her to be
the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Totally.
Squirrel Girl, Patsy Walker, and Spider-Gwen. That'll be the next hit movie right there.
DC needs to focus on Lumberjanes.
See, I unlocked Marvel.
They're interacting. There's a comic coming out where they're interacting with Gotham Academy.
Oh, that's true. That is true. They're doing a crossover because DC is doing like lots more crossover stuff.
Yeah,
everybody's doing crossovers like MIB and 21 Jump Street. Like, come on, seriously? Yeah.
I think that's what a great idea. No, seriously, I had always thought, like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, it would be perfect. You have it where they're, like, just like you have, like, the same setup as you did in Men in Black 1. They're chasing somebody down, and it's weird, and the guy's an alien, but it's them and their 21 Jump Street characters, and they get somehow, like, caught up in the Men in Black organization and, like, have to join it. I think that's a great idea.
No, see, what they need to do is MIB and RIPD mashup.
Oh. Yeah,
because that will work. It's like current
we
life
gotta kill
and
dead aliens.
Man, that was a curveball.
Kind of thing of just like, just do something new. Stop just rechurning out the same reboots, the same brands of. It's like a real shame because in some ways I think like the BFG has literally just come out over here. I'm gonna go see it probably tomorrow, Wednesday night. It is an original book, brand new story, new characters. No one knows really too much about them if you haven't read the books, and yet Disney just flushed it down the pan just to kind of we don't really want to do it. But they're not promoting it. They're not putting all their all because it's not an established brand. Well, it would have been if you'd given it a shot. And
they kind of did. It's just not everybody's cup of tea over here, pun intended. Yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
over here, dude. It's just not.
No.
Yeah.
But
it's a shame.
Pixar are doing a good.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a shame. No, Disney has. We talk about this on the DCast all the time, just about how Disney's great with animation. They've been great with Star Wars. They've been great with Marvel. But as soon as it comes to a family movie or like a PG-13 sci-fi movie, they're like, Tron, Tomorrowland, the John Carter of Mars. We don't know what to do. Like,
it's the marketing team. Yeah, they screw everything up.
And like John Carter of Mars was a fine movie. It's Planet Hulk. It's great. You watch John Carter of Mars, then watch Thor Ragnarok, and you'll be totally caught up. And like Tomorrowland was fine. Like the third act fell apart because they over-explained it, but it was really enjoyable and like it was really fun and mysterious. And they just don't know what they're doing with it. And BFG is a huge bomb. It's like Adventures of Pluto Nash levels. Like it's really a big bomb, and it's a Spielberg film. Like, what are they thinking? Like Matilda did great. So Matilda did great in North America. So Roald Dahl is a name that they could have pushed to. They should have like re-released the books like a year in advance. They just didn't. They didn't spend enough money and time and care.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of ties into all the trouble is I think they're looking at it like Dory, billion, Civil War, billion, Star Wars, billion, and someone comes along like goes, well, you might make $500 million us on it. We don't want to waste your time on it, and it's like but the trouble is I think what is going to happen, and this is the same thing with the game stuff, is they're going to force the main things forward, and anything like would just slip through the net. You know, the BFG video game or the mobile game is a perfect example of a lazy mobile tie-in game that just really shouldn't have existed because they didn't put any. It's basic. They did the basic thing they could get away with.
You know what, Roger, though, and one thing that this is doing that's sort of leaving me concerned or a little bit paranoid, and I shouldn't, because there are a lot more Disney fans than there are BFG fans. Sorry, but it's the truth.
Yes.
I'm a little concerned.
Clearly.
I'm a little concerned with Pete's Dragon, only because it's not a very well-known story, and obviously our generation definitely love Elliot and his, everything that we saw. Yeah, exactly. But that's my only concern, because the way BFG performed, I kind of feel like we might feel a little bit of that with Pete's Dragon. But again, I feel like it's going to do better because there are more.
And it's a shame. And it's a shame because it'll be good, just as probably as good as Beauty and the Beast, and Beauty and the Beast is going to make all the money.
Well, it's gonna blow up.
Well, you just got the Harry Potter nerds into it too, like smart casting and smart involvement with them on that.
Yeah.
It does feel very much along the line that I don't know if Disney are releasing too much. And I think that's
they are. That's the truth. They are. There's a lot of things that they've been wanting to do, and they can't because their film lineup is ridiculous. They can't.
Yeah. Queen of Catway is coming out. Like, do you think that it's probably going to try to get a lot of Oscar push in time? But I keep talking about it now, people.
It's going to be like the recent movie that what was it that I saw?
Finest Hour.
Thank you, The Finest Hour. I thought it was a great film, but it wasn't really pushed. And only myself and a few old people got to see it. That's it.
Yeah, my mum and dad.
My 10-year-old son. My 10-year-old son. He took his mom to it, and they loved it. And it was a nice little date movie for them.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
James, anything you want to add on that?
I've taken away James's
spot. You guys are having a great conversation.
Sorry, James,
I don't actually have much to contribute. It's like we talked about the BFG previously. Is like if a title from Disney is coming out and it's not a Marvel title, it's not Star Wars, and it's not from Pixar, it's not getting any sort of push at all. Like when BFG came out, I talked about my experience at Disney World right before going to Zootopia. It was the week before Zootopia came out, and I was at Disney World, and there was nothing. There was no promotion for Zootopia at all. I had the same experience about the time Frozen came out. So, if it's not from Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, they kind of just toss it out there, and if it's successful, then retroactively, like, yes, Frozen, this is amazing. We're going to have 4 plays and 50 rides, and you guys are going to hate the song within a week, etc. But beforehand, you're like, oh, yeah, we got a movie coming out, guys. It might be over there.
They need to bring Touchstone back. Right? That's the problem. Everything's
Miramax,
Disney branded still.
Yeah.
And
Miramax.
Miramax, anything. Bring one of the studios back. Give them some autonomy and give us we need to be pushing art just as much as and story just as much as we need to be pushing technology and huge franchises.
Yeah, because it definitely feels like this year, it feels like, we had The Finest Hours, we've got that chess movie that you were talking about there, you've got, BFG, Pete's Dragon, even Alice in Wonderland, all these live action ones.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland did horrible, yeah.
They just haven't, there's just too many. I mean, they try, and I think even Disney, their own cannibalizing their own market, Finding Dory destroyed the BFG. And also, like Civil War took out Alice in Wonderland. All these kind of they're releasing them so close together, even though they are separate things. There's just too much coming out, and I feel, and also all of this is tying over, I think, with the mobile games and all the other things where they're trying to do too much, and nothing's. The big hits are hitting, but the little ones are kind of sliding through the line of,
You're right.
I wonder. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just Yes, you are right.
Definitely feels like an odd thing.
I'm wondering if these live-action reboots, if we're going to look back at these, like, the mid 2010s are going to be the equivalent of like the late 90s and 2000 sequelitis when you get like 101 Dalmatians 2 and Little Mermaid 2 and 3. And are we going to look back at these and go, yeah, there were a couple of decent ones in there, but you threw so many out that they just got lost?
The post-Renaissance era.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I've noticed is like their classics, like their animated classics that they've turned to live action. It seems like they're putting a bit more like TLC into them, and I feel like those that come out. Well, it is. It's the truth. I mean, like Cinderella came out and it did great. And honestly, it's not a bad film. I know Roger wasn't a fan.
I hated it.
But it expanded on the prince. It gave you something a little different, but not too different. Yeah.
Yeah, you got plenty of eyebrows too. But anyways, Maleficent was also pretty good. I mean, it did really well. I'm assuming Beauty and the Beast, like we just said earlier, is gonna just kill it in the box office. So I'm thinking maybe, and to piggyback off what James said, I feel like that's what they're trying to do with these other little smaller franchises like Pete's Dragon. Even though it's a huge fan favorite, not a lot of people know about it. And I think that's what they're trying to do there. But the BFG, I don't know what they tried.
But even like with showing all these, I completely forgot the Jungle Book. This is.
And Jungle Book was great.
They've been throwing so much out, and we're just, it's like we're living in a great thing with so much movie. But even I'm sitting here going, right, the next 5 weeks at the cinema, I'm literally going, that's too much. I'm looking at going, I got Star Trek, I think got BFG, then got Dory, then got Suicide Squad. It's just like there is too much coming in at once, and I think they are oversaturating the market.
Yeah, it could be.
And then you've got rising ticket prices too. You want us to pay in American dollars. You want us to pay between $12 and $20, depending on what format you see it in, for a movie every single week. And that's if you're just buying for yourself and you're not buying food on top of it.
Well,
what they're doing is they're taking the content production approach like we would on YouTube, and they're applying it to a much broader scale. So I don't actually think they really care how certain films do in the box office, because it's about content creation and it's about getting it on Netflix and having that new content there. That's where you're going to get higher viewership, where it was marketed enough that people know that it did bad, and they're going to be like, oh no, it looked okay, like let's watch it now that it's free on Netflix. And it's all about content creation and fulfilling these contract deals too. And you got to remember, it's got every single country has a different content deal with Disney on getting these movies. Like in Canada, we have The Force Awakens, but we don't have any of the hardly any of the animation in the cartoons, and so they. It's all about fulfilling those contracts, and it's about content creation, I think, and it's just that's the classic way you would distribute the film.
And I think that kind of is, again, that obviously with this being sort of primarily gaming, but that kind of content seems to be their approach as well now that they've, like what happened with Disney Interactive, of where they actually turn around and goes, this model is not, you aren't doing what the rest of the company's doing. You're not doing it properly. You're not doing it right, because Star Wars and Marvel are franchising out all over the place, but Disney had kind of gone in on themselves, the interactive side of things, and were doing everything within Infinity, but it wasn't. They weren't hitting everybody. They weren't hitting everything that they needed to of getting onto the different platforms and stuff.
Well, that's honestly a really solid example of the way Disney does things, because they branched out, they licensed, and then they noticed that their own game is being outdone by something they can do cheaper, so therefore they cancel it, and they don't even care about the consumer or whatnot. And that's why you see things like Tomorrowland comes out, doesn't do so well. Like, well, you know what? Now we're gonna axe Tron 3.
Yeah.
Because we just gotta axe these things because it's similar. It's going in this direction. That's exactly the way they do things. And I guarantee you, some of the movies, because their lineup is getting so congested, eventually you're gonna start seeing that one's canceled. That one's canceled. One's canceled. Or we're gonna put that in the back burner. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like Paper Magicians and stuff like that. They have so many movies that they've announced that are in development that you're like, there's no way that Alice in Wonderland Peter Pan hybrid movie is going to get made. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, like, for example, the Mary Poppins Part 2 thing, I think that might be pushed back further and further because...
no.
I don't know. I haven't
going all in. Emily
here's a
Blunt.
question for you guys.
That's true. Emily Blunt is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like projects like that might suffer though, because you have a lot of Star Wars, a lot of Marvel,
They might suffer, but I think you'll at least get Mary Poppins too.
Well, at least
Well, a question is this any different than how things used to be versus how they are now, or is it just that we, because of the internet and access to these guys, do we just know about it more? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. Just kind of throwing it out there, though.
It is the way it's always been.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I do think it's a little better, only in the sense that I feel like they're concentrating more on quality, even though they are giving us a lot of quantity. I think the quality is way better. Like, for example, these animated sequels that they released in that era, garbage. Like, yeah, like the Cinderella 3 movie was like, I had to like get rid of it. It was like just blasphemous. There were so many things that just
Lion King 1 1/2 was okay.
See, and I liked the Lion King. Actually, what was it? Return of Jafar was awesome.
Return of Jafar.
That was
Goofy
great.
Movie technically is along those lines. But,
Yeah, but then it just started getting.
You always get some good ones.
Yeah, see, I kind of fell in that line of like, oh, it's a straight-to-video DVD. Didn't watch it. Never watched it because it was deemed cheap. So I never bothered. You never. All those like really bad sequels, I never saw them because you just knew that they were rubbish because they went like, well, if they've not promoted them, then you just knew that it was going to be bad. And I do think they have done a better job of doing it, but it does feel like I don't know if they've maybe gone a little bit. They've tried doing too much too quickly. I think they do need to scale back a little. I think like even the live action versions. You think of like Alice in Wonderland, or Alice Through the Looking Glass, Pete's Dragon, and Jungle Book. Trying to do maybe all three of them in 1 year was too much. They should have just done one, and if they'd just done the Jungle Book this year, and then Alice next year, and then done Pete's Dragon the year after, it might have worked better had they just focused on one.
Well, even their newer movies are getting sequels already. Obviously Frozen is getting one. Wreck-It Ralph is getting one. I wouldn't be surprised if Zootopia got one sometime soon. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming back to the repeat. But I have a feeling that they're going. They're definitely more about giving us a little bit better quality than before. Like, we're not going to get those straight to Blu-ray things like we used to.
And Pixar has set a good example. Like the only bad sequel for the Pixar films is Cars 2, and anytime I mention that, I get a lot of people who get mad at me.
Yeah, because a lot of people would disagree and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I Cars 2 is fun. You might like it, but it just is kind of known as the worst Pixar film. And but all the other sequels are fine. Monsters University, Finding Dory now, all the Toy Stories, like they've shown that they can do it. If they've taken the lessons from that, I'm okay with Disney animated sequels.
Yeah, it's funny because like a lot of people have different ratings for Pixar. I think some people have said Brave is worst. What is it, the dinosaur one? I can remember the title.
I would suspect the dinosaur one is like at the bottom of the pile now.
Well, some people even said Monsters U, and I love Monsters U.
We just had John Negroni on the DCast. He's on the upcoming episode this Monday, and the podcast is already out. But John Negroni, the guy who created the Pixar theory, he was on the show, and he said he thinks that The Good Dinosaur is a masterpiece, and he hopes that Coco is more like Good Dinosaur than it is like any of the other ones.
The background is amazing. Everything else was I love the T-Rexes, man. That was awesome, but that's about it.
The thing is, when that T-Rex talks, you just know it's that guy with the mustache going,
oh, yeah.
I'm the token Texan.
It is him. It's like the Chris Christopherson, like Sam, what's his name? Sam something. Sam, yeah.
It's kind of funny watching him in, was it Grace or something on Netflix, and going, every time he talks, it's just like, I just see this T-Rex.
Like Grace Under Fire?
Yeah, something like that. I can't, Grace and Frankie or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm pretty much on that one. We're kind of coming up to the end of this one. It's kind of, as I suspected, we were going to go way off topic with San Diego Comic-Con and having all of us nerds and geeks just kind of over everything that's come out, and that was what was going to happen. But it's been a great week, really, for sort of news, video game, and Disney, and sort of just movies and stuff. But it's been great fun having everyone on board. Kind of cool having like a sort of a 4-man show. Was kind of interesting. Great to have you on there. It's been great to sort of talking to you, especially after watching you on like the DCast for a while now and stuff and stuff. So it's been kind of great to sort of speak to you in person.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, you guys are awesome, and I love your show, and I love the excitement level that you guys like still have about so many of these things. Where I'm like, mobile game, I don't want that mobile game, and you're like, I have to talk about this game, and I love it. So it's the best, and thank you so much for being so gracious to let me on the show. I plugged the show a couple times, but just I wanted to say. If you want to check us out, Network 1901 on YouTube. The DCast is on every Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, all those things on YouTube as well. Thank you.
That's cool. I got your final plug-in as well. So James, again, thank you very much for waking up the middle of the morning there in sleepy Washington. You know, just have to wave to Obama.
Yeah. There's 2 Washingtons over here. You gotta.
Look, if you can make fun of me, talking about the. Yeah. So
well, the Washington that doesn't have a representative in the Congress.
That too.
So James, where can everyone find you during the week?
Let's see. I'm on IHI_James on my Twitter, and then I also am part of the Res TV network, and we just opened up a Twitter account for the other podcast I do, which is Getting Up with Geeks on Saturday morning. We talk about comics and movies and all sorts of stuff. Not restricted to the Disney properties. We talk about Suicide Squad and all that. And that's Getting Up Geeks on the Twitter.
That's cool. And Abe, thank you very much for joining us today. For having, now you're not, the Potter hasn't been keeping you working underneath the stairs.
Yeah, definitely. The cupboard is cozy at night. Yeah, I have been working long hours. I definitely work for the enemy, Universal. So I have been busy. I haven't been able to be on the podcast lately. It's still going to be like that for a while. But luckily we got James with President Trump over there helping out. But no, anyways, I'll still be around, poking around. I'll still be writing articles for DisKingdom, and yeah, I'll still be here talking to everybody. You can find me, Abe Jr. 22 on Twitter, and still here, DisKingdom, and other people's podcasts like Coin Op TV, and probably eventually DCast or something. I don't know. I'm gonna be everywhere. Everywhere, whatever.
You are all welcome on the show. I'd love to have you guys.
Right.
It worked. I told you. I told you. Just pressure him live, and it'll work. I was like,
oh, hold on, Andy just messaged me. He said no. Sorry.
Thanks for letting me jump in, guys. I know it was out of the blue, so I appreciate it.
No, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you since D23, man.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, since D23, it's been a while. Yeah.
I woke up this morning. It's like Abe's like, "Can I join in?" It's like, "Of course you can join in." I was just like, "It's like 4-man team. This is gonna be fun."
Yeah. No, yeah. When I found out I didn't need to work, I'm like, "Hey, I'm free if you need me."
Like, yep, join on in. And as per usual, you can check out everything over at DisKingdom.com. If you're listening on the audio versions, you can subscribe on whichever platform it is that you found us on. And you can also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up as well. Comment below with what you guys think of all. We've had lots and lots to talk about. We've been talking about everything under the sun, really. So yeah, big thank you to everyone. We've been having a nice cross country. We've got Canada, USA, and UK all in one show, so that's really good. So that's pretty good. So as I said, thank you very much for watching, guys. Be sure to check out everyone on Twitter and on check out DisKingdom.com, and I shall see you guys soon. And to infinity and beyond.